Hey guys, Mr. Reality here with a series I'm gonna call Minecraft Diaries. I realized I really like the style of the animation and video essay sides of YouTube, but I can't art and my retention rate is garbage enough as it is, so there's no way that I'm doing a 45-minute video. So, you're getting me talking over Minecraft. Besides, my therapist keeps bugging me to start writing more, so this way I get to do that and play Minecraft while telling Varian I'm making content. Due to the nature of these kinds of videos, I highly recommend putting this on in the background while you study, complete assignments, do chores, your daily commute, or whatever else you need to get done. Let me keep you company while we hang out for a bit. We're going to start off by talking about something that I'm very passionate about, because I need enough to fit a 10-minute script for that sweet ad rev. Wait, I don't make money off of YouTube yet? Well, that sucks. Anyway, today I want to talk about family. Specifically, the family that you're born into. I might make another video about found family later on because that is something that's important to me, but no promises on that front. For now, let's stick to the family that you, or rather I, have had. Now, no family is perfect, some less than others, and we all have our struggles, but I wanted to take a moment to focus on the good. So, if you're looking for the feel-good story of 2024, look no further and strap in. Some of you may know that I'm the youngest of 6 children, but for most of the time I was growing up, 2 of those siblings weren't there. It was me, my 2 brothers, my sister, my mom, and my dad. So, I wanted to share some of my favorite memories there. Starting off strong with a tragedy that claimed over 200 lives in 2012. The level 3 hurricane, known as Superstorm Sandy, hit my area when I was 9. Thankfully, our home wasn't destroyed, but we did lose power for over a week. And while we were lucky to not be completely ravaged by the storm, trying to still run a house of 4 kids couldn't have been an easy task, especially with a hyperactive little myth running around. I remember seeing around town how bad things were. School was out for a while for obvious reasons, and I had just picked up a large book from the library before the storm. Now, I have always been an avid reader and was always way above my year's reading level. Not so subtle flex, you know. And I had already rented out this book several times in the past, and it had become a favorite of mine. And I was all but burning through the batteries in our lanterns by reading day in and night. And my mother, tired of her days of work and just overwhelmed with the housing crisis, the storm itself, no power at home, and about a billion other things, took the time every single night she came home to read with me. We would sit on her bed, pull the covers over her head with a lantern, and take turns. I would read a chapter, and then she would. And I've held on to that memory since I was 9 years old. It meant so much to me, and I think it really goes to show a mother's love to be able to put all those struggles and challenges and fears aside to focus on her kids and make sure they felt loved and protected. I didn't worry about that storm at the time because I never saw my mom worry about it. And I'm really glad I have that moment to look back on. Her strength inspires me every single day. Next on this list is my brother Michael. And if you guys don't already know, my brothers are the reason I got into gaming at all. They're both a lot older than me, Michael by 13 years and Lyndon by 11. And I used to sit down on the couch and watch them play Halo together for ages. Some of my best memories are from those times. I actually recently got the chance to talk to Michael about this story I'm going to share with you, and it surprised him how fondly I still held it. So it really goes to show you guys how sometimes the little things you do in life can leave a big impact. When my parents split for the first time, I was around 11. My mom, sister, and I moved away, and that was hard for me. A new town, new school district, I didn't know anyone, and I was really nervous to start middle school like that, as well as the family dynamic as I knew it being completely overwritten. This was the summer, by the way, so I hadn't actually gone to school yet. As the summer was winding down, though, my brother saw how overwhelmed I was and arranged it with my mom that I'd stay with him in his apartment for a weekend. Just some guy time. We hung out, he cooked, we played the new Spider-Man game that had just come out, and we just talked and had a blast. He reassured me of my fears and helped me stay focused on what was important. Things were rough, but I wasn't alone. Michael stepped up and took initiative with me in a really crucial time, and his guidance and support has always made me a better person. The unconditional love and protection as a brother is all I could ever ask for, and I'm so glad that I have him in my corner. Moving on, my sister Bree is the closest in age to me. She is 3 years older, but in a lot of ways, we kind of grew up like twins. Granted, I was sensitive, and she was annoying, and she was sarcastic and a bully. Trust me, I'm not biased. But we did butt heads a lot because of that. But we were and are always there for each other when it counts. And there are countless examples I could give to prove that. Like the time she stood up for me getting bullied on the bus while still denying we were related. Or like how I owed her money, so she helped me get my first job. But no, the one I need to share with you guys is a lot more near and dear to my heart. Let me set the scene for you. I was born and raised Christian. My whole family is. My parents met due to the church in Jamaica at a very young age. They grew up together. Every Sunday we went to church together. So what happens when your faith wavers? When all that you and your family knows doesn't seem to make sense anymore? Well, if you're anything like me, you get scared. Terrified, even. My father had been a priest my whole life. How could I, as his son, who carries his name, ever feel like that? I was going through a lot at the time, and adding this into the mix made me very unstable and threw me out of whack. I turned to writing to express the words I dare not say, to express my fears, my anxieties, my insecurities, and my sorrows. One of those writings I felt the urge to share with my sister after about 2 or 3 years of feeling that way. I'll share an excerpt with that from you now. I walk amongst you each and every day, smiling and laughing, but I pray that one day it will be okay. I pray to a God that I don't really even believe in anymore, but no one knows that because I'm too scared to say anything to my family. My sister, who practically raised me, I'm scared of losing her love and her acceptance. Please remember that at the time of writing this, I'm like 13 years old. This is heavy, heavy stuff. Anyways, with that fear, it was all but assured in my head that my sister would turn me away. And thankfully, I could not possibly have been more wrong. When I showed her that writing, she looked at it, read it, and said to me words that I will never forget. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you believe in. You will always be my little brother, and I will always love you. And that nurturing, that acceptance, is all that I needed to hear in that moment. I broke down and cried in her arms. My big sister. My savior. I just wish that the rest of my family was that accepting. Following this up is my big brother Lyndon. And this instance happened a bit later in my life. As I was coming of age, I had issues with the way the world saw me. I had faced instances of discrimination against the color of my skin that left me terrified, genuinely fearful of the world and its inhabitants. What they thought of me and the way they spoke to me stuck, and I began to see those things as true, to take them on as part of my identity. But my brother Lyndon has an even darker complexion than I, and yet, if you were to ask anyone his most notable feature, first they would say his huge muscles, and I mean legitimately, like he's a bodybuilder, no joke. But after that, it's his kind smile and his warm, infectious laughter. I knew without a doubt in my mind that he had suffered similar troubles or worse, yet he never lost that smile, that kindness in his eyes and in his heart. So I had asked him how. How, in a world of adversaries, could he possibly still get up and face the day, seemingly unbothered? The words we shared next were done in confidence, so I can't relay them to you, unfortunately. But it was exactly what I needed to hear in that moment, from exactly who I needed to hear it from. The understanding of what I actually meant, and him telling me that you can't change the things that happen in this world, and you may feel powerless, but you can change how you react towards them. And although I still struggle, he is a symbol to me each and every day that black is beautiful. All of my siblings never gave up, no matter life's challenges, and they stood by me at every step to make sure I never gave up either. Finally, I wanted to talk about my father. I inherited his name, and everyone else tells me that they see him when they look at me. My uncles say I act just like him too. My dad and I never had the closest of relationships, but whatever the reasoning is for that, it doesn't matter right now. My dad is utterly iconic. He has this whistle that could almost pierce the heavens. I remember being next to him watching my sister on stage for one of her 10 million performances she had growing up and hearing that whistle. She always knew exactly where we were after that, whether the crowd was 10, 100, or 10,000 people. You hear that whistle, and it was always cool knowing and cheering alongside of it. Fast forward many years, I joined my high school's marching band. We had a competition season which lasted from around September to the end of October, and I had become a drum major, which, for those of you who don't know, is like a head of the band, a student conductor. And at the end of each season, we went upstate to compete in this huge enclosed university football field, the Dome, we called it. These were these huge competitions that meant a big deal for me. It was my sophomore year, so second year in the band, but first as a drum major. And I remember standing in line, ready to go out. All of my parents' friends had just wished them luck before heading to the stands, and I'll be honest, I was always jealous of the support my sister had. Whether it was field trips, musicals, or concerts, my dad was always there, and my mom did her best to make it to all of them too. But it never felt the same with me. At this point, I had grown used to it, whatever. They called our band, and we marched out onto the field. The judges called the names of the majors, the head major, and then me. There was a cheering from the stadium and a roaring crowd. Don't ask me why people got so hype about high school marching band. I honestly don't get it either. But in that moment, I heard it. That whistle. No, that can't be. I remember thinking to myself. It's around 7 p.m. on a Saturday. You're 10 hours away from home. Dad's asleep, about to wake up for work, and mom hasn't even gotten home yet. There's no one here for you. But even saying that to myself, I didn't believe me. Because no matter what happened in life, I was never able to give up on hope. My heart was racing, and I put all and then some into that performance. If you're not a performer, I'm not sure you'll ever understand this, but when you perform for someone you love, everything feels heightened. You have a new sense of purpose. Time slows down, and in those moments where the music just hits, you believe magic actually exists in the world. When we finished, I started to doubt. There's no way it's him. They told me they wouldn't be able to come. Maybe I just imagined it because I wanted it to be him. I wanted it to feel like he was there. We waited for our scores, our final trophies, and headed back to the buses. Out at the university entrance, I saw my father and my mother standing there. And just as the tears are in my eyes as I write this, I cried in that moment too. Happy tears. Tears of finally feeling acknowledged by my father. Finally being seen by him. Being heard. I wasn't crazy. I finally had my whistle moment. In that moment, nothing else mattered. I was so happy I didn't even care we got last place. Oh yeah, we lost, by the way. Placed 8 out of 8. It was terrible. But I remember having to hide my smile around everyone else because of how sad they were, but I didn't care. He was busy and he came to see me. I mattered. My whistle moment. And nothing can take that from me. There you have it. That's my family. Who I love and who loves me. If I can leave you guys with one piece of advice, it would be this. Don't wait for someone else. Make your own whistle moment. You, as a person, are capable of so much. See yourself. Acknowledge yourself. You deserve that much. Thank you so much for listening. This is Myth to Reality, signing off. We miss you, X. Come home.